Hey everybody, Dranky Mark here, and welcome back to Let's Play Shadowrun Hong Kong, Part 25. Last we left off, we basically had a bit of a chat with our crew, talking a bit about mostly to Isabel and Gobbet. Looks like they've been having some bad memories about both the Walled City and Isabel's case, and for Gobbet, it was the sinking ship that was her old home. We tried talking to Duncan about about Raymond, or Edward Sang, as we now realized. Didn't work. He didn't really want to talk. And then we spoke to Gaichu, basically just getting a plan together for his quest. We still need to do Raptors, which we're going to be doing, I guess, later on after the next episode or something. If you like what you guys see today, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that button, man. Okay, let's post some more pay data. Museum shipping manifest. Typhoon stalled offshore. Update on Typhoon Usagi. Infrared images of the storm Ida wall transition are really quite stunning, by the way. White prism. Typhoon Usagi has stalled in the South China Sea and is now weakening after passing north of the Philippines. Strong wind and periodic very heavy rains will continue as Usagi's arms sweep across the region. When Usagi is resisting the wind, which is causing it to lose strength, prevailing winds will probably ultimately drive Usagi, and storms have difficulty delaying their landfall for more than a week once they are in the South China Sea. Usagi will still be a full-strength typhoon when it makes landfall, but its delay fortunately gives people in the storm path more time to prepare. Look, babe, I just made this cartoonified typhoon for you. It's got a little purse and sparkles and bubble tea and 8 arms with assorted weapons and a necklace of skulls and everything. You're the best. The J-pop theme on the ammunition belts really takes it over the top, Amanita. You're a special person. Sang Mechanical Services, a rising star. Has anyone else been keeping track of the Executive Council elections? It's almost time for the latest round, and the competition is heating up. Up until this point, Tan Tieng CEO Sao Kok Chu looked like the best pick to replace Josephine Sang of Sang Mechanical Services. Despite Wujing CEO Kent Zhou-Ling's rivalry with Chu, he had the support of both Yang Lin-Fat of Shibata and Adrian Chung of Hildebrandt Kleinfurt Bernal. Now, though, I'm not so sure. Josephine Sang seems pretty confident that she'll remain on the council. From what I've heard, she's gonna deal with Ares Asia, Manobe, and Eastern Tiger to stay out of their way. In exchange, they let her own Southeast Asia's large-scale construction projects. A cozy relationship like that could turn the tide against Tan Tien, the chromed accountant. Your screen flickers as a trick clip begins playing. Josephine Sang stands at a podium, addressing a crowd of reporters in front of a partially constructed skyscraper. With the finalization permits approved for the Pak Tai Workers Complex here in Dongguan, I promise you that the prosperity of this city can only increase. This marks an auspicious day. Thousands of new jobs in construction, tens of thousands more when the project is complete, and low-cost housing for every worker. Somerset Sang Mechanical Services does not have the will to compete in a global market, that we are only a force to be reckoned with in Hong Kong, Africa, and South America. I say that our good fortune is your good fortune. Sang pounds the podium with a closed fist, nodding for emphasis. For a better life, a wealthier, happier life. One where your company is also your family and can protect you from the uncertainty of these trying times. We will give you that life. We will give you that protection and certainty. What a load of utter crap. It may be crap, but the people in Dongguan ate it up. The idea of signing with a local company that isn't Baihu, and believe me, they count Tan Tien and Wu Jing as foreign, was too much of a draw for them to pass on. I'm thinking that absent catastrophe, Josephine Sang will be on the Executive Council in the next few days. I wonder if whatever's going on with the walled city has something to do with it. Prosperity. What did Josephine build there? Why did it count Wujing as foreign? Tan Tien, sure, they're headquartered in Beijing, but Wujing's just as native to Hong Kong as Sang is. Wujing and the Canton Confederation have been at odds since 2015. Wujing's made a habit of exploiting the people of Guangdong and using loopholes to shield themselves from taxation. What's more, Wujing was the primary mover in the founding of the Free Enterprise Zone, permanently stopping the Confederation's designs on Hong Kong. Sang took a different tactic. Josephine Sang started out by promising the Canton Confederation a very lucrative taxation agreement in exchange for a low-cost, long-term lease on their facilities in Dongguan. She sweetened the deal by treating them like family rather than adversaries. She's got them eating out of her hand. Huh. Punk, metal, and hardcore. I wonder what Sang's got. Got a collection of over 10,000 albums from punk, hardcore, hardcore light, thrash metal, heavy metal, light metal, death metal, metal noir, Sino-punk, synth-punk, cyber-thrash, synthcore, Hong Kong ska, and triple umlaut bands like Umlaut. If there's an album you've been searching for, I might just have it. In return, I'm in search of any weird, obscure bands to add to my library. Let me know. Got any cybercore synth metal? As for what might interest you, I own the complete au revoir of this German punk, Messerkampf. Heard of them? Yo, Dietrich's old band. Messerkampf? Ha ha ha. They're so mainstream. They're really big in the JIS. Really? Do they tour? Nah, man, I don't think so. Those Berlin anarchist bands never survived very long. Besides, I think they broke up a really long time ago. They're probably aging wave slaves now and have no idea they're wildly popular on the other side of the planet. I'm pretty sure Dietrich is the Shadowrunner. I'm pretty sure these guys should probably, contact him. Looking for Decker. Oh, these guys. Looking for experienced Decker for a discreet milk run, picking a very special access card off a wage slave. Potential for longer-term agreement. We're a team that's been together for years, running your basic heists and the occasional transport gig. We've got a reliable fixer and a long list of happy clients. Experimental stims during runs. You must not tamper with chemicals in secret labs. You must have a good sense of humor. What happened to that other guy? Knock knock. You said a good sense of humor. It's a joke, see? At this point, we're actually more interested in hiring an experienced professional with mature adult impulse control. We've had some bad luck with our Deckers lately. The last one had 2 left feet and couldn't seem to stop stumbling into containers full of volatile substances. Poor runs with scissors 2056. Although by looking at our name, I guess we should have known. So basically, you guys are desperate for a Decker. Has anyone else contacted you? We could wait a little longer. Meet me. You guys are starting to get a bad rep, Jinxed. Oh, this is gonna get a lot worse for them. We're sunk. All of us swim. As some of you know, I have a keen interest in urban planning, geophysics, and anything involving our eventual and inevitable destruction. Appended is a recent summary of rising sea level in Hong Kong. It expresses the issue well in layman's terms. Freedom Cowboy, you've complained my post titles are a bit sterile. How's this one? Article Mirror, The Sinking of Hong Kong. From HK Newswire, Hong Kong's Watery Future. Images and external links redacted. The Joint Corporate Development Bureau has released a report on sea level rise in Hong Kong over the next 50 years. Since the year 2000, Hong Kong has experienced 9 to 13 meters of water level rise, varying by location. Geologists cite a combination of Antarctic ice melting, the natural sinking of Hong Kong's artificial shorefronts, and forced subsidence caused by massive urban construction. Future of the city. Geologists predict a continued rise in water levels over the next 50 years, with slowing land subsidence being offset by accelerating collapse of the Antarctic ice sheet. Quoting from government geologist Dr. Ao Mingjua. With up to 15 meters of subsidence expected over the next half-century, a large fraction of current Hong Kong will become submarine. Due to our population and small land base, abandonment of flooded land is no longer practical. Rigorous amphibious retrofitting of the city will need to continue. By 2100, the current coastal buildings will mostly rise from a canal environment. Engineering to protect Hong Kong. Engineering studies indicate that major improvements will be necessary on the coastal seawalls and on Victoria Harbor's Zhirong Wall, officially the anti-typhoon automated harbor defense jetty. Coastal protections will need to be raised by 0.5 meter per year to counteract the total effect of rising sea level and the worsening severity of super typhoons. The Development Bureau estimates this may cost 250 billion new yen over the next 5 decades. Climatic models suggest that by 2100, storm surges impinging on Hong Kong shores may exceed 3 meters in height. and wind-driven waves during severe storms may reach 15 meters. End of article. So we're going to be running jobs from gondolas in 50 years. That's the message. When one does some simple financial modeling and extrapolates the worsening severity and frequency of super typhoons along with the geological outlook, the actual message is that it may be necessary to abandon Hong Kong. White Prism, I take it back. Keep your stale titles. What's so endearing about you is that you talk about the grimmest things like an accountant. You would have much better long-term financial security, as well as be better able to interpret and manipulate materials encountered during their work. It's pretty ironic that your handle shortens to WP, normally associated with white phosphorus. Actually, Hatch, it's not. It's really not. White phosphorus is exceptionally useful, not merely because of its hypergolic ignition and the fact that once burning, it is chemically immune to water quenching, but also because of its high adhesive and biotoxicity. I don't take pleasure in these qualities, but I appreciate them. White Prism is definitely like one of my characters I had in mind with Darius. Just he's so clinical and an accountant because he practically is like the smartest guy in the room. White Prism just sounds like something he would do. Merc Operative? Accessing BBS archives, please wait. See attached image, dated to late 2050. The human in the middle is Simon Jouer, a mercenary fixer in Macau. He's a known quantity. I'm interested in the elf on his left. Anybody recognize this guy? Archaeopteryx. Your person of interest is Roland Hahn, aka Whipshaw. He's now a merc. He's a corpo turned runner turned corpo. He's now a counter-disruption advisor, currently under contract on Transys NeroNet. Jara is just a broker, but I'm wondering what the Whipshaw is doing with the third guy, the troll, Icebreaker. Icebreaker? He doesn't look like a decker. Icebreaker as in as big as an icebreaker. The ship. He was supposedly ran a paramilitary crew for a while. I've heard of this guy. He vanished 6 years ago. His whole team went completely dark. They were called the Fleet. Word is they hit a big score and retired. Yo guys, got metadata on that Icebreaker's crew got wiped out. Only 2 survivors and you won't find them. Tin Helmet, I'm tired of your weird ass rumors. Tin Helmet may be correct. One fleet associate, Ustrada, posted on the BBS 6 times over the next year. Another Bally song was connected by a bounty hunter. See attached image. Thanks, White Prism. That's fucking awesome. We all really needed a picture of a woman shot in the face and slumped over a toilet. This isn't a gore board. So you got Asperger's or something. Kulon car bomb. Same thing as last time. Car bombing in Kulon City today, near Salisbury and Nathan. Triad hit, extremists. The Triads don't usually use car bombs, and terrorists want a substantial blast to kick fragments. This one had a small explosion, but burned like an oil well. Viola! HKPD report appended. 1 fatality, the driver. Guy named Ripshot. Burnt almost beyond identification. Ripshot? He's a rigger. He rules for the Fleet. He's got a long enemies list. No crazy taste. I don't know why people keep associating the Fleet and this Ripshot guy. The Fleet's rigger is a Xinjiang guy called Chainlink. Yeah, Ripshot has a lot of enemies, but he's a Sao Fo Croc shaman over in Kwantong, and he's not dead. Several people have operated Hong Kong under the handle Ripshot in the last year. None of them are linked to the Fleet, but that crew is known to spread misinformation about their composition, so who knows? I see the body identification was made from limb DNA, a skull fragment, and the footage from a nearby CCTV camera. White Prism and Amanita, are you going to go conspiracy theory on us again? Man, White Prism really is just busy lately. Okay. 200 messages. Out of town. Oh, from Cheng. I'm not in Hawaii right now, so don't bother coming to see me. We'll talk when I return. Please continue with our business ventures in the meantime. Data retrieval. I hope you're enjoying your newfound success in the shadows. I've got another job for you, one that should prove very lucrative indeed. I've been contracted by an employee of the Eastern Tiger Corporation. He needs you to steal some research on biological samples from his employer. The man's name is Tagath Wright. Until recently, he was a researcher on a genetic engineering project. He was cagey with the details, but I gathered that it centered around phenomic alteration and postnatal genetic enhancement. I have no idea what that means. Unfortunately for Wright, he's got a conscience. Stupid man. Lucky for us, he's willing to pay to have his conscience assuaged. Right? Be right back. I apologize for that. I had to go do some taste testing. White's project was apparently quite horrible. Experiments on living children, total disregard for biomedical ethics of safety, and when Wright raised concerns, he was taken off the project. He decided to step outside the bounds of the law and expose their wrongdoing to the world. The snag, you see, is that his wife and child live in Seoul, not quite the heart of Eastern Tiger's power, but close enough. He's afraid that if he releases the information himself, they'll be taken prisoner and use as leverage. The idiot should have thought about that before, but that's not a problem. The samples and data are currently on an Eastern Tiger cargo ship, the MV Naochi, sailing near Hong Kong on their way to Seoul. The storm slowed the ship down, so you don't have to go right away, but don't take too long. Once you have the data and the samples, you're to call Wright. I've attached his number. He'll give you instructions on how he wants the information leaked. When you're ready, let me know. I'll arrange transfer with Captain Jomo. He's a local Loho Jowa pirate and smuggler, but don't let that put you off. He's as good as they get, and he'll have you on that ship without incident. We'll take it. I'll let Captain Jomo know you're ready. You can find him down on the end of the pier by my parlor is on. He'll handle everything from there on out. Okay. So we got another mission to deal with. I think we can probably handle that one later. So, in case you guys haven't realized, PlayStation's no longer gonna have access to Twitter. Like, they're gonna get rid of the Twitter thing the thing that basically allows to send clips and stuff to Twitter. If you want to do it, you're gonna have to do it with the PlayStation app, which sucks. But honestly, I think we could probably do something about that. I mean, I doubt if anyone uses Twitter much anyway, given what's been going down. Algernon? What is Algernon doing here? This austere, refined-looking elf is browsing the shop's collection of talisman, herbs, and crystals. Knowing your approach, he turns to face you. Good evening, my friend. I hope it's been a pleasant one. Yeah, it's pretty good, so I've had worse, I guess. His lips quirk upward in a slight smile. Indeed, with so much misery and pain only meters away, permeating the walled city, worse is a quality that is quite tangible here in Haoi. I do not envy those trapped within those boundaries. My name is Algernon Halfdream, and it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Algernon does not extend his hand, but he does incline his head politely. Not quite a bow, but almost. You don't sound like a local. No, I am not, I admit, though I have been to Hong Kong many times in the past. I was acquainted with Mao's mother, Eleanor. Algernon spares a moment to survey the shop. I must say, it's been kept in wonderful condition, if not improved somewhat. Where are you originally from? I have been traveling my entire life and rarely stay in one locale for long. I would consider nowhere and everywhere my home. When you speak as many languages as I do, it's inevitable that they begin to bleed together, though I've always had a particular fondness for Cantonese. It has a lyrical quality few other languages can match. You've been to the walled city? No. There was a leaden finality to Algernon's tone. He pauses for a moment before elaborating. I have looked around outside and spoken to some residents who trade at the edge, but I have not entered it. The misery and hopelessness of those within it is overwhelming, and I would prefer not to venture too near the wall, too near such a well of negativity. but those emotions have colored and warped the astral space in a unique fashion, one that I felt was worth studying, albeit from afar. He shakes his head sadly. Such a waste of human potential. To think all of the ways the world and fate have failed those people. You got some interesting eyes, Algernon. Do I? I've never really thought about them, to tell you the truth. They allow me to see, and there our relationship ends. Surely there must be many people in Halo with interesting eyes. Saber surgery is so common these days as to be almost routine. Most people's eyes don't glow, Algernon. I suppose that's true, but there are so many inexplicable quirks of genetics in this post-awakening world. Birds that summon lightning, dogs that breathe fire, cats that transform into lions. Glowing eyes seems a small thing, taken in comparison to all those. Hey viewer, I'll admit he actually has a fair point. So are you a mage or a shaman? What makes you think I'm either of them? Perhaps I'm simply an inquisitive soul. Algernon smiles and gestures toward the racks of magical accessories on the wall. Of course, a merely inquisitive soul will not be interested in purchasing any of this. Perhaps I am both or neither. The nature of magic is fluid, especially in these tumultuous times, so soon after the dragons have awoken. Generally, people try to draw binary divisions between methods of thaumaturgy. At the heart of things, there is will, there is power, and there is change. See you, Algernon. Safe travels, my friend. Yeah, this is the third time we've seen Algernon in this series. I hope that they actually make a more Shadowrun games. I wouldn't mind a Shadowrun anime in the same vein of a Cyberpunk Edgerunners. That actually makes me think, like, I'm not a fan of the multiverse idea, alternate universes and timelines, and I'm thinking about Edgerunners right now, and I'm just imagining Main and his crew in the Shadowrun universe. I'm like, how would that go? I mean, they'd be Shadowrunners, yeah. I mean, the one thing is they probably wouldn't have an Atom Smasher. Actually, Main might actually be able to survive. Well, granted, he'd be chromed out of his mind as a street samurai. Though he'd have to be careful to make sure he has enough essence. There's a thought. A heavy scent buffets your senses. The scent of pure, unadulterated book. Woody, musky, dusty. The light herbal incense from before seems like an afterthought in the wake of pepper smell. Looking around, you see that the shopkeeper has abandoned her earlier feeble attempts at organizing the text. Several of the towers of books are now reduced to piles on the ground. A piece of paper, caught somehow on a ceiling rafter, rustles gently above you. Crafty, you in? You hear a shuffling of papers. An arm rolls out from under a pile of blankets and books, and Crafty raises her head. A notebook spread open on top of it. The book topples to the floor. Oh, hey. Her voice cracks. Crafty clears her throat with a cough and stumbles out of her pile. Sorry about the mess. I was up all night reading, or rather up every night reading. She stretches. It's been hard, not just because of the sheer amount of information. It's been a nostalgia trip too. If these journals are kicking your ass, you can always stop. Your health comes first. No way! I've dug myself too deep to back out now. And I don't say that that as a bad thing. I've made progress, I'm proud of that. She leans on a book-covered chair. The sooner I figure out these dreams, the sooner I can rest. And trust me, Saint-Jean, I will make up for it in spades. And naps. Just don't work yourself to death. That wouldn't achieve much, would it? And it isn't all bad. These journals are just as exciting as they are laborious. So what's the latest? The latest... She walks over to a glass table and starts tossing books off of it. As she digs through them, you realize the table is not actually a table, but a glass display case full of dried medicinal ingredients. Crafty withdraws a notebook from the pile, its binding unraveling, the pages holding on for dear life. Here we go. This one's loaded. With what? Got a couple big finds. Mom's notes are a mess, so I boiled them down to the most important information. An exorcism and the Yama Kings. Where do you want to start? Tell me about the exorcism. She flips through the notebook and, after locating the right page, lays the book on the counter. Her index finger glides across the notes as she summarizes its contents. On one of my mom's trips to the walled city, she decided to check out an archway, an old crumbling relic that residents believed to be haunted. Mom wasn't sure about the hauntings, but upon entering the area, she immediately felt that it was a place of concentrated ki. I know someone who's mentioned that same arc. She's in the Walled City. Crafty looks up from her notebook. I believe that. It's a fairly prominent landmark. Seems to me like most people from the Walled City would at least have heard of it, if not seen it. What'd she say? Nothing good. Yeah, I'd have to agree with you there. At least from what my mother wrote, it was seriously bad. Go on. The key wasn't like your standard run-of-the-mill energy. Even for the Walled City, this key was exceptionally dark, and it all seemed to gravitate toward the arch. So she did what any cook of a magic brand would try. A Taoist exorcism. How'd that go? It went to hell. The exorcism failed and something happened to her. She broke. Crafty takes a deep breath through her nose. My mother entered the city strong, confident, and capable, but when she left that day, it's hard to explain. It's as if the experience left her vulnerable to those base horrors within the Walled City. She grew paranoid and became frail of mind and body, a mere shadow of her former self. It's as if she'd witnessed something, and it changed her. She became more obsessed than ever, and that's how I remember her now, as that broken woman. I'm not sure how this fits into our investigation, but if that sort of malevolence is coursing through the Walled City, it's no wonder the people who live there experience such terrible dreams. I'd like to hear about the Yama Kings. Crafty turns up to a page marked with a red sticky note. She looks up at you. Tell me, how much do you know about the Yama Kings? Never heard of them. Personally, I've only heard about the Yama Kings in fables and myths. Things to scare children asleep, to inspire awe. As you can guess, intimate knowledge about imaginary beings is largely non-existent. And here, she taps the page. We found the demons of the Walled City. Through my mother's excursions into the slum, she came to learn that the residents had their own unique Yama Kings, different from the traditional ones. The people there are segregated from the rest of Hong Kong. Over time, they came to believe that their home was possessed by local demons. Makes sense considering the place's penchant for crime and disaster. Do their Yama Kings have names? There were 3 that my mother knew of. Lam Vi, Fu Mong, and Quan Ya. Each Yama King is associated with a negative energy on which they feed. Lam Vi feeds from cowards, Fu Mong from the guilty, and Quan Ya, slaves. Unfortunately, my mother's handwriting declined with her sanity. She rubs her forehead in frustration. She has a lot of details in here about these local Yama Kings, but I can only make out bits and parts. There's a list. Something here about... Her mouth twists sideways as her eyes squint, straining to read the notes. Rules? Maybe laws of some sort? The thing that stood out to me is here. She pops a finger onto the page. It's about the propriety surrounding ownership in deals, exchanges, negotiations, luncheons? The last part could be right. Anyway, it says the Yama Kings, under rules or laws, must adhere to the terms of a deal. And there's something else, but... She sighs and flips the page under the counter. You know, it's strange to me that Mom found these mythical beings significant enough to mention in her documents. Makes me wonder if she thought they were real, or connected to the curse she believed in. A thump, and Crafty closes the notebook. She casually tosses it back onto the display case. It's not the best lead, but I think that's a step in the right direction. Huh. We're definitely gonna go and have to talk to Crafty about that later, but I feel like calling it for today right now. Got on early to hopefully stream, but with the internet quality being a bit crappy, I don't know if it actually processed it all. Hopefully it did, but if it didn't, I'll check later. I'm Dragon King Mark, and this has been Let's Play Shadowrun Hong Kong, Part 25. Next time, we're gonna go and talk to everyone else again, possibly talk to the COPPA family at Club 88, see how they're doing. Then afterwards, we're going to do another mission. If you like what you saw, again, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell icon to stay notified, and I'll see all of you next time. Laters.